I'm going to review the final expense telesales lead types from worst to best. The worst lead type you can get is a data lead. Now, what is a data lead? Well, a data lead is the absolute closest thing to cold calling that you can possibly get to. And since phone books don't really exist anymore that I know of, with cell phone numbers in them and all that stuff, this is really just a list of names and numbers. A lot of telemarketing leads, which we get into later on, are actually generated by people in overseas call centers or just cold calling a random list of names and numbers of people who happen to be a certain age. We'll get into those lead types later on, but a data lead is essentially a list that is gathered from different data sources. You can find them on Google. And what you do is you just create a query. And in this query, it's just a list of people with certain ages and get their name and then their number. And you can use a thing called skip tracing to get their numbers if that list does not have their numbers. But what it is, it's a list of people that happen to be a certain age. There's really no intent at all. Maybe they probably didn't even fill out a form or anything to get their name on that list. It's just straight up like cold calling. So there are some people who do that, but that is the absolute worst lead type you can get. So if you buy something that's called a data lead, you probably aren't gonna have too much success with it. The next worst lead, for a little bit better of a lead for final expense telesales, is a direct mail lead. Now, why do I say this? Because direct mail leads are very high intent. What a direct mail lead is someone gets a postcard that looks something like this. They get it at their house, they fill it out, they take the card, they go to the mailbox, they put it in, and they mail it back. So that's pretty high intent, right? Someone saying, hey, I want insurance, so I'm gonna mail this postcard back. You might be saying, why is this lower intent? Or why is this not that great for final expense telesales? Well, the reason why it's not that great for telesales is because they're super, super expensive, and people can put the wrong phone number, and a lot of times they don't even have the phone number. Sometimes they don't have the phone number. Now, every lead vendor is different, but some direct mail leads don't have phone numbers, and they're crazy expensive compared to other lead types you can get. Direct mail is king for face-to-face and door-to-door. For telesales, your cost per acquisition, meaning the cost that it's actually going to take for you to make a sale, is going to be astronomical. So if you're working direct mail leads, you definitely want to be working them face-to-face. If your upline tells you to buy direct mail leads for telesales, maybe you should get a new upline. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications. I don't have to be your upline, but I can help you more than your upline's helping you. All you got to do is subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications, and I'll be helping you every Monday and Thursday. Next lead type that I think is just a smidge better than direct mail leads are purchased final expense Facebook leads. I cringe when I hear of someone buying Facebook leads. Why? Because they're super easy to generate, and it's a pillaged platform with final expense agents. But the good thing is most of them have no clue what they're doing. So why is a purchased Facebook lead no good? I'll tell you why. Number one, you don't really know what the ad is. Sometimes these companies are not going to show you the ad that they actually put out. So you're not sure what's being advertised, because these lead companies, what they have to do is balance lead cost with lead intent to make sure that you get a bunch of leads for your dollar, so that you're not saying, oh, your leads are so expensive, I'm going to the next guy. But they also have to make sure that the leads buy. So they're not really geared towards getting the absolute best lead to make a sale. They're geared towards getting the best lead for them to make a profit a lot of the time. Also, purchased Facebook leads, a lot of times you're not going to get an automation set up where you get a notification immediately when the lead is generated, and there's really no way to customize the lead. So I do not believe in purchasing Facebook leads. The biggest reason not to do it is because they're super easy to produce, and they're going to tax the crap out of you to generate that lead, so for you to buy it from them. So why would I buy something from someone I can generate myself? Now, I hear people say, well, it saves me time. Okay, cool. Well, when you're a new agent, a lot of times you don't have the money, and you have to save the money. If you want to figure out how to generate final expense Facebook leads, just check the video in the description. I have a whole walkthrough on it. I'm going to be getting into this a little bit more further through the video, but I have a whole walkthrough on it. The key with final expense Facebook leads is you have to call the lead immediately. So if I can get a lead that's a little better that I generated myself for cheaper, or get a lead that I bought through someone else that's not as good and more expensive. Okay, next lead type, as we move up the ladder here, is a purchased telemarketing callback lead. Now, there are gradient scales to the purchased telemarketing callback leads. Now, this is a lead generated by an overseas call center, and this is exactly how they're generated. What happens is, remember the data leads we talked about before? Okay, well, there's two types of data. There's non-opt-in data, which is just a list of names and numbers, and then there's opt-in data, which is a list of names and numbers of people who said, hey, I want this information, or I'm okay to get a quote or a request or whatever. Non-opt-in data has zero intent to begin with, and you may run into issues with telemarketing TCPA laws for do not call laws, because if someone's on that data list, on a do not call list, then overseas call center calls that person to generate a lead through them, and then you get the lead and they're like, hey, I'm on a do not call list, I'm suing you. That call center overseas is not gonna flip the bill for you for the attorney or the fine. So what happens is these call centers get these lists, and then a representative at the call center calls this person and they bring them through a basic script. Essentially, they sell them on the idea of getting information on final expense life insurance. It goes something like, hey, there's a new state approved burial program in your state. It can cover your final expenses up to $30,000. We can have a representative reach out to you. How much coverage would you be interested in? Who is your beneficiary? What's your favorite color, favorite hobby? What's your date of birth? Stuff like that. That's like generally how the lead is created. And then they take that information and they put it on a lead sheet, and then they take that sheet of leads and they send it to the agent. Okay, now the turnaround time for these leads is usually a few days. You don't get them in real time from what I've seen, and you get, say you buy 40 leads and you pick the states you want them in, a day or two later you get a list of 40 names and numbers. Now the cool thing about these is the shelf life is a little long. The shelf life on final expense Facebook leads is like non-existent. You got to be calling those people within like 2 to 3 minutes. I would say 2 to 3 seconds, not even joking, of them filling out that form, or else conversion rate plummets. But telemarketing callback leads, half-life of the lead, we could say, is a lot longer because someone's actually talking to someone on the phone and giving them some information, assuming that they can actually understand what the person in the overseas call center is saying, which gets into something totally different. So you want to vet these lead sources. Someone who's selling you telemarketing callback leads, you want to say, hey, can you provide me some samples, please? What's your refund policy if your samples don't match up to what you actually give me? You want to ask them, are you using opt-in data? Because opt-in data is what is going to make sure that you are, number one, getting higher intent callback leads, and number two, protected from do not call suits, because you do not want to run into that. Do not run into the do not call suit. It's like a lot of money. A lot of telemarketing lead companies, what they'll do is they will send you copies of what their lead generation program sounds like and their calls sound like, so that you can make a decision for yourself like, hey, this sounds pretty good, I'm going to give them a shot. We actually, here at our call center at Senior Life Services, we love telemarketing callback leads because we work exclusively with a call center overseas. They are really good. They train very, very well. And they provide very high quality callback leads for us. They're articulate. They call someone and the person clearly understands that they are asking for information on final expense life insurance or burial insurance. The lead goes on a sheet and we call them back. And we say, hey, you spoke with one of our company's representatives. You mentioned your favorite color was blue. Does that ring a bell? They're like, oh yeah, I remember. The intent's higher and there's more engagement. That's why it's easier for them to remember this than like a Facebook lead or a data lead, because they didn't even do it. The telemarketing callback lead ranks 4th on the list of moving from the worst to the best. These leads are also great because you can get a lot of information on the lead form, and you get a lot of ammo for you to talk to the lead about before you even get them on the phone. After telemarketing callback lead, the next tier up is a self-generated Facebook lead. Now these are absolute gold because you can take the actual ad and you can change your headlines and the ad and the text and everything else so that when they fill out the lead form, you can call them and essentially almost reiterate exactly what's on the ad. You can call them in real time. So after you set up your ads, you have an integration set up where it will send you a text message right away saying, hey, this person just filled out this lead form. You can call them right away and bring them through your script, bring them through your presentation, and just be able to immediately engage them when sometimes they're still on the form there. Also, if you create a landing page, you can have a click to call button where they call your cell phone directly after filling out the lead form, or your computer phone, your VoIP line, so that you can bring them right there. And those are a little bit higher up in a tier when that lead calls in. So self-generated Facebook leads, I made a bunch of money on self-generated Facebook leads. I actually started building my team off learning how to run ads on Facebook, and they're golden. You got to answer them quickly. You got to have them optimized and set up right. But I'm telling you, if you can nail self-generated Facebook leads, it's great because you can just log onto your computer, turn on your ads, wait a few minutes, they start pumping, and in an hour or so, you start getting leads coming in. I'd recommend spending $100 to $200 a day. That's what I would recommend, so you can get proper lead volume. Your budgets are totally up to you. Like I said, if you'd like to learn about how to create those, all you got to do is check out the video in the description, and then I may throw a video card up here. I don't know yet, depending on how the algorithm likes me. So after self-generated Facebook leads, I believe that SEO SEO leads from your own blog or website are a little bit better than those. Why is that? Well, SEO stands for search engine optimization. So this is where you have a website that people find through Google search, and they go on it and they're actually searching for burial insurance or final expense life insurance. So that's pretty high intent. Like, people obviously, if they're searching how, like, best burial insurance companies, and they look at you, they're probably in the market. I found that these, because we have a website where they're generated from, these leads typically have higher premiums. If you answer them very quickly, they're like right in the market, right there. They are like a buyer in heat, as Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street would call it. They're like looking, they're interested, they're in the market. This is a great lead because they're searching for insurance. It's not just an ad that came up. So you know they have expendable income, because if they have no money, they're not going to be going searching for the most part for something to buy. So I found the premiums higher, the intent's higher, and if they read your website before filling out the form, which most people do, there's already some credibility built up. So you don't have to do as much like rapport building. The sales cycle is a lot shorter and more compressed because there's not as much trust that needs to be built, and you don't even have to build the need. It's like, hey, what had you searching for this today? Oh, you want to make sure it's taken care of for my kids. They're already there. They probably already know who the beneficiary is going to be. They're probably totally like on the ball. That's why, and they're tech savvy. People who are tech savvy tend to have a little bit more money, I've seen, than in our clientele who isn't tech savvy. And you're going to get less people with Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that because they're actually actively searching for this insurance. So you're not going to get as many people who have these like guaranteed issue type of illnesses per se. That could be like mental things. Now, if you want to create your SEO website, it's an awesome thing to do, but it does take some time. So you have to research how to do it, have consistent blog posts, design the website, make it look pretty, or you can pay someone like $5,000 to $10,000 to set it up for you, and then you just maintain it from there. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. I can try to look out for sources for you. Also, if you're interested in having someone set up ads for Facebook for you, just reach out to me. I can hook you up with someone there. The next lead type, by the way, subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications, please. Next lead type after SEO leads from your website that are filling out the form, I believe, are live transfers from solid data. So from good opt-in data. Now, why is this good? Because you are getting the transfer coming in and it's a live person on the phone. You don't have to sit there and wait, and you get a person on the phone right there. This may be up for debate. Some of you guys may disagree or agree, but what I like about live transfers is that you don't have to pay for it if you're on the phone less than a certain amount of time. So a lot of them have like a 2-minute buffer where, by the way, a live transfer is when you get someone, that same overseas call center I was telling you that calls and generates the telemarketing callback leads, they generate live transfer. They get a list of data. They have their representatives calling that list. They bring them through a script to qualify them, saying, hey, would you be interested in some information on burial insurance? We got these programs available, yada, yada, yada. They say, great, we're going to connect you with a representative right now. And then they merge you in a 3-way phone call to that person in a live transfer. You answer, you say, hey, this is Justin. How you doing? They're like, good, good, good. I got Johnny here. He's looking for information on some burial insurance. Please give him a quote. Perfect. So then you take it there. It's like a handoff. The reason why these are good is because you usually have like 2 minutes where you can ask them some questions to determine if they're a qualified buyer. Do you have an active checking your savings account? Can you make decisions by yourself? You can ask them some knockout questions to make sure they're not guaranteed issue. There's like 2 minutes that you have to verify how legit this lead is. So that's why I think live transfers are right up there for telesales, because like you don't always have to pay for the lead. SEO, you do have to pay for the website. So there is a thing here, but keep watching. I'm going to get into why this is what's coming up next here. So live transfers are great. I don't have any live transfer sources that I know that sell them. There are plenty out there. We generate all of ours in-house with our call center overseas. Basically, live transfer, you can just sit there and take phone calls of people they sell on the idea of being interested in life insurance. So next best lead that we have here is a YouTube lead. Now, YouTube is like the new gold in final. It's not even new, actually. People just don't know how to do it because it's more complicated than Facebook. So that's why not as many people have it. YouTube leads. Now, a YouTube lead is like a commercial. So if you're on YouTube and you're watching a video, you've probably seen some commercials while watching my video where someone comes up, they start talking, trying to sell you something. That's a commercial. It's like a skippable commercial. On YouTube, that's what you play. You play a commercial for final expense life insurance. If someone is interested, they click on something, they can fill out a form and submit it, and then you reach out to them. So the lead is received on your end, similar to how a Facebook lead would be received that you generate yourself or that you get, where it says, hey, this person just filled out a lead form, give them a call. But I believe that the intent is higher because they watch a whole video. Facebook, on the ads, that you can kind of like misconstrue it sometimes where people may think it's free or they don't really know what it is, or they're just kind of scrolling through and they're like, yeah, that looks cool, let me fill it out. On YouTube though, if they watch that whole ad video, it means they're probably pretty interested in learning about the program. because like it depends on the video, I guess, that you use. But I've found that they're really high intent. They're pretty lay down once you get them on the line, the ones that are interested. And like the lead cost is amazing. If you want to learn how to generate them yourself, just reach out to me, jve@thejve.com, or you can buy them. I can hook you up with a source that can sell you YouTube leads too. So if you can get these, I would definitely give these an opportunity. And right now, I would say that these are way up there with the highest intent, best lead that you could get for final expense telesales. You can make a killing off these. Next is inbound leads from social media or SEO. So remember, before we were talking about lead forms being filled out for the Facebook and YouTube leads in SEO. So your own website leads. Next, what I'm going to talk about is inbound calls from those. So inbound calls from those sites and those ads are monster. Those are the most laydown deals that you will ever get, aside from maybe a TV lead, which is coming up next. What it is after they see your ad on Facebook, watch the video ad on YouTube, or see your website on your blog, they then are prompted to call in directly for information on these programs. So there's a call to action after they fill out the form, or there's just a number right on the ad where they can call you directly for information on this. And if the intent in your ad is high and you're pretty clear that it is for a burial insurance program or final expense program, and they're calling in, you know that the need is there. They are literally that motivated to get this product that they are calling you to ask you about it. So call-ins from social media are like the best. They are platinum. Like YouTube leads are gold, then these are platinum. And the intent, you can't really get much better except for a TV lead. I don't know though. I would say an inbound from social media may actually be better than a TV lead. It's kind of a tie here because they're both seeing advertisements. The TV lead has a little bit higher credibility. Okay, so they're kind of tied for the best telemarketing or best telesales lead. TV lead and an inbound from social media or SEO. Now TV lead, the credibility is already there. So just because someone goes on a website doesn't mean that they're going to be fully credible with you. I could give you full credibility. Someone sees an ad and they definitely may not give you full credibility, right? Because they know it's an advertisement. But if someone sees an advertisement on TV, for some reason, people are brainwashed into believing that everything they see on TV is the absolute true fact of the world. People also see this ad multiple times before calling in. So the intent there kind of sits there and festers, right? Like a lot of those commercials that people call in on, they don't call right away the first time they see it. They watch the same channel every day over and over. They see the ad 4, 5, 6 times. Then they're like, hey, you know what? I'm calling into this company today. I thought about it the first time. First time I saw it, you tickled my brain. The second time, ooh, man, I should probably do this. Now it's 5, 6 times through. I haven't taken any action. I'm going to do it. Now, the only thing with TV leads, though, is that they may be on the unhealthier side sometimes, because if someone sits home and watches TV all day, they're probably not in too good a shape. That's where there are pros and cons between this and an inbound call from social media or your SEO. But bottom line, if you can get someone who's calling in from a TV commercial, if you can buy those TV leads, I know Senior Life Insurance Company has those. They're awesome leads. A buddy of mine works for Senior Life Insurance Company. If you'd like more information on that, just reach out to me. jve@thejve.com, or set up your own ads on social media. Reach out to me if you want to learn how to do that too, and then you can have your own inbound calls as long as your landing page is built properly. So those are the leads that we have here from best to worst for final expense telesales. Appreciate you watching. Check out this video coming up here, because what you're going to want to do is learn how to handle every objection that these leads are ever going to give you. So watch this next video so that when you get these leads coming in, you'll know how to handle them and close them, overcome any objection that they give you, and make a ton of money off your leads. Thank you.